Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, John Campea, and this is the companion video. Now, every day on the John Campea Show and on Open Mic, we take live questions, and sometimes we don't have time to get around to all the questions that get sent in. So we do these companion videos to get caught up in those, because I want you to know when you send in a question to those shows, they do get answered. Even if not live, we do get around to them on the companion video here. So, without any further ado, let's dive right into it today. The first one comes to us from ZCM Zombie Custom Maps, who writes, finished the God of War game. Can't wait for next one. Hope you get a chance to play it, John. Plus, did you ever want to make a video game? I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I did sit down and watch the story video of it on YouTube. It was like almost 8 hours long. Now, some people go, John, you can't really get the story of a video game because there's actual story that gets told in the gameplay. Yeah. But the people who put together these story videos know to put those parts of the gameplay that tell story, to put those in there. That's why it's 8 hours long. Like that game, God of War ain't 8 hours of cutscenes in it, but they actually put the game footage into these story movies that tell the story as well. And they can be really entertaining and fun to watch. And I had a great time watching the God of War, and I put up a review for it. You can find it on my YouTube channel here, but I loved it. Haven't had a chance to play it yet, but watching the story video convinced me to run out and grab it. So as soon as I can get Ray to bring over his PS4, because I have an Xbox here, I don't have a PS4. So once he brings over the PS4, I'm going to run over to Best Buy and buy the game so I can play it through. But no, I've never had any desire to be a game designer. I have all respect in the world people who do it. That's never been my calling per se. Dr. Panders writes, over or under 10%, Feige announces he's leaving Marvel Studios after Avengers 4. I'll take the over on 10%. I wouldn't say 50%. I wouldn't even say it's likely. But if you're going to set the number as low as 10%, I'll take the over on that. Yeah, I'd say there's a good solid 20% chance that he does. Because look, when you're a creative dude like Kevin Feige, at some point you go, you know, what else do I have to do here? I've done it all. I've accomplished everything that I can accomplish at Marvel. It's time for a new challenge. Again, I'm not saying that's what he's going to do, but if you're going to set the line at 10%, yeah, I'll take the over 10%. I would take under 50, but at 10%, I'll take the over on that. ZCM follows up, would you rather see a Baby Driver 2 or A Quiet Place 2? Ooh. Well, you know what? I love both of these movies. I preferred A Quiet Place over Baby Driver, but they're two very different movies, and I love them both. But since I have a better idea about what you could do with a Baby Driver 2, and I'm not really sure what they're going to do with it. They've already announced they're going to do A Quiet Place 2. I just don't know what they're going to do with it. So for now, I'll say Baby Driver 2 is the one I would see. Like if you told me right now, I could go to a screening tonight of either Baby Driver 2 or A Quiet Place 2 and know nothing about either, I'd probably go see Baby Driver 2 because I have a better idea about what I'm going to be getting out of it. So that's how I would answer that for now. All right. Lawrence RBE writes, John, can you explain the Hulk situation between Universal and MCU? I have always wondered why there hasn't been an Incredible Hulk 3. Well, I've explained that many times. I even put up a video on my YouTube channel about it, about why there's no standalone Hulk film. Look, the quick Coles notes, and I do a full like 8-minute video on this on my YouTube channel, but the basic Coles notes is this. There are two different sets of rights. There's production rights, that gives your company the right to make a movie. Then there's the distribution rights. A company has the right to actually be the distributor of the movie. Marvel has the production rights for The Incredible Hulk. That's why they can put The Incredible Hulk in their movies. Marvel has the right to make another Incredible Hulk movie. The problem is, if they make a standalone Incredible Hulk movie, Universal gets to be the distributor of it. Because Universal has distribution rights. And Marvel and Disney don't want another company distributing their films. So Marvel just doesn't make a new Incredible Hulk movie until they can get this situation sorted out. So as long as the two don't play ball together, we're never going to get an Incredible Hulk 3. Because Universal has the rights, and until some kind of deal gets made, it's going to stay that way. All right, next one. Rick Keir writes, only person who can stop Thanos is Dominic Toretto when he what wields Mjolnir, since he is worthy to all. I mean, obviously, yes. Dominic Toretto is clearly worthy of wielding Mjolnir. He can actually have 5 of them and twist them all at the same time. Even Thor would bow to Dominic Toretto doing that. I mean, my goodness. Just watch the Fast and Furious movies to find that out. Jameel Taylor writes, watch Lord of the Rings trilogy over the weekend. Fantastic. Oh my God, I envy you. I always feel this deep sense of envy for people who are watching like all-time great films for the first time. Because no matter whatever happens, unless they create some device that lets me do a memory wipe, I will never, ever get to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time ever again. I'll never be able to watch Lord of the Rings for the first time ever again. And I always feel kind of envious and jealous of people who get to do that. So congratulations to me. And I'm glad you enjoyed it because it is seriously one of the best trilogies ever made. All right. Paul Foote writes, first super chat, love the show. What do you think of people saying Star Wars is in decline even though every movie has made over $1 billion? It's laughable. It's straight up laughable. When say, oh, Star Wars is dying. Really? Because the last I saw, they've put out like 3 films and all, like Disney's put out 3 Star Wars films and they've all been over $1 billion. The MCU's never done that. The DCU has never even made 1 film that's made $1 billion, let alone 3 in a row that's made $1 billion. And oh my God, like if Star Wars Solo opens to $150 million, a movie that nobody wanted, a solo movie without Harrison Ford. Everybody guffawed at the idea. Another prequel attempt with all the director drama it had, losing its director, reshooting 80% of the blah, 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 blah. And after a bunch of people didn't like The Last Jedi, if Solo opens to over $150 million, it becomes even more laughable. So yeah, it's at this point, it's laughable. It won't necessarily always be laughable. Let's say Solo comes out and everybody hates it. Well, then it's not so laughable. But as of right now, it's completely laughable. DC Patience writes, regarding MoviePass, worked at Apple years ago. Our mantra, among others, never make 99% of good customers jump through hoops because of the 1% of bad ones. Oh my God, that's a great saying. Don't punish the good customers for what the very rare bad customers do. And what I think D is referring to is that, you know, MoviePass implemented this additional new rule or hoop that its customers have to hop through. When you go to a movie now and use MoviePass, you have to take the ticket you get, take a picture of it, and upload it to MoviePass. And if you fail to do so, your membership gets suspended and canceled. So making people jump through hoops, again, MoviePass just assumes you're all criminals. So making all of your good customers jump through hoops because it's something that the odd bad one does. Because I'm sure that has happened, but I'm also sure it's the extreme rare. There must be other ways to deal with that. Matthew Pratt writes, in the UK, we have to wait an extra month to see Ant-Man and the Wasp because of the World Cup is so huge. Smart business, but massively frustrating. Yeah, so for those of you who didn't hear about this, Ant-Man and the Wasp is, of course, releasing in the UK, but they moved the release date to be a month further back because it was going to open roughly at the same time it was going to open in North America. But Disney's decided to push it back another month because the World Cup is going to be going on, and the World Cup is far more popular in Europe than it is here. So again, I agree with you, Matthew, on both counts. It's probably a pretty smart business move. I get it. You want to put your movie in its best chance for success. And the best chance of success is not to open it right in the middle of the World Cup. I get it. But I also agree with you that if I was a fan in the UK, it must be massively frustrating. Because you're waiting for Ant-Man and the Wasp. You're just coming off of Infinity War. You're dying to see it. You know all your fellow film fans in North America are watching it a month before you get to watch it. So you got to be worried about spoilers coming out. You got to be worried about all that kind of stuff. So yeah, good business decision. Yes, we totally get it. But even though we understand, it's still frustrating. All right, Let's Watch writes, hey John, big fan, no question. Just wanted you to know that you're one of my favorite YouTubers and a great person. Oh, thank you so much, Let's Watch. I appreciate that. It's always really nice when somebody just takes time out to do nothing but just wants to pay you a compliment. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Paul Niranjan writes, hey John, love your show. Thank you so much. Since the AMC days, next year there's a new Halloween movie coming out. Will take place right after 1 and 2. Feelings. I have no feelings. I'm one of the few people out here that really doesn't care. I have no vested interest in the Halloween movies. I'm one of the few people. I don't even like the original one. I mean, I remember I watched the original one again about 4 or 5 years ago for the first time in a while. And I watched it and I went, huh, this doesn't actually hold up very well. I know people like yelled at me and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I'm sorry. All I can do is be honest. I watched the Halloween again and this isn't so great. And I hated the Rob Zombie ones. But yeah, I've never really liked a Halloween movie. So I really don't care about this new one. Now, don't get me wrong. When it comes out, I'm going to take all my baggage and leave it at the door and go in and just judge it on its own merits, and hopefully I'll love it. But as of right now, I just got to be frank with you. I really don't care about this new Halloween movie, despite the fact that you got the goddess herself, Jamie Lee Curtis, in it, and which is the only thing that has me even remotely interested in this movie. But other than that, I just, honestly, right now, I don't care. Here's hoping the movie can be awesome. It'll turn me around. All right. DC Patience writes, can Patreon supporters vote or sending up Patreon picks for movie club or revisit reviews? So what D is referring to is that this coming Sunday, we're starting our movie club. And movie club is every week, maybe not every week. Maybe it'll be every other week. Not for sure. But we're going to pick a movie. And then I'm going to let everybody a week in advance know what the movie is, so everybody has a chance to go and rewatch it or maybe watch it for the first time. And then we get together for an hour and just talk about that movie. Questions, observations, comments, opinions, all that kind of stuff. So the first one we're doing is Gladiator, the Academy Award Best Picture winning film Gladiator. So I'm super excited about doing that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'm also going to do little revisit reviews where I'll do reviews of older films. Just short little reviews. Like movie club will probably be 45 minutes to an hour. Revisit reviews will be about 5 minutes long. So now right now, D, I don't have any mechanism in place, but I am going to put something in place where the Patreon supporters get to be the ones that help determine which movies get revisit reviews and which ones get to be the focus movie of movie club. So yeah, that is going to be coming. Keep your eyes open for that. D follows up with, Donald Glover's new video is trending #2 on YouTube. Think it'll help Solo. Lots of folks excited to see Lando. So yes, Donald Glover right now just put out a new, wait a second, where'd she go? Oh, wait a second, that's the wrong thing. There we go. Donald Glover's new music video just came out. And it's the This Is America music video. And I think they debuted it right around the same time that he debuted the song on Saturday Night Live. Anyway, super popular. People are going crazy for it. It's like, I believe it might have even hit #1 trending on YouTube. Will that help Solo? Well, it certainly ain't going to hurt. It's certainly not going to hurt. The more in the spotlight Donald Glover or anybody on the cast of Solo will help the movie. So will this help the movie? Yeah, it'll help. I don't know that it's going to be a night and day difference. Like, it's not going to be the difference between being a $100 million opening and a $300 million opening. Nothing like that. But will it help? Sure. It certainly won't hurt. It certainly won't hurt. Ali Hussein writes, you know what would have been awesome? If we got Grimm and Supernatural crossover. I would love to see that. P.S. Thank you for answering my email questions. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think those two would have worked well together. Now, I was a fan of Grimm. I used to watch Grimm before it got canceled, and I really dug the show. I think it lasts like 5 seasons or something like that. I really enjoyed it. But not so much the last season. The last season felt very rushed. But anyway, they're just two so different feeling shows that I don't think I ever could have seen it. They deal the same subject matter, but really the tone of both of the shows were so completely different that I have an easier time seeing Arrow crossing over with Supernatural than I do with Grimm crossing over with Supernatural. Also, you have the big problem that Supernatural was an NBC show and Supernatural is a CW show, so that would have made it impossible anyway. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure I could see that crossover. I don't. All right, Ali follows up. Do you know anything about Lucifer getting renewed or canceled? Well, it got canceled. which is really crazy and stupid and nonsensical because the show was fantastic. And the show had better ratings than, say, Gotham does. But Gotham gets renewed for another season and Lucifer doesn't? Are you freaking kidding me? Seriously? It's ridiculous. Lucifer is an awesome show. And I get it. Hey, look, if the numbers are crap, I get it. But the numbers on Lucifer aren't crap. They're not great, but they're not crap. Like I said, they're renewing other shows with much lower ratings. So I just don't get it. Someone's going to have to explain this to me, but I don't get it. Jay Bling writes, having seen Solo and not Deadpool yet, I ask you this. Which do you think will be better, and which do you think will be more fun? Well, I have seen both. I've seen Deadpool. My review for Deadpool went up the other day. And I've seen Solo, and my Solo review went up yesterday. So I've seen both. And I love them both. I had a great time at both of them. I really did. Just a wonderful time with both. But I think I prefer Deadpool 2. I think I prefer Deadpool 2. Now, but John, you're a Star Wars guy. I know I'm a Star Wars guy, but I'm still got to be honest. I think I prefer Deadpool 2. But anyway, the thing is, it is a win-win for movie fans because you got 2 weeks now back to back. You got Deadpool 2 coming out, and then you got Solo coming out. It's a win for film. They're both great, but I actually thought Deadpool 2 was a little bit more fun. Let's see, Michael Hafana. But by the way, I may have even liked Deadpool 2 more than Avengers Infinity War. I'm not positive about that. Don't hold me to that. That may not be true. I need to marinate on a little bit longer. I need to see. I've seen Infinity War 3 times. I've only seen Deadpool 2 the once. So give me a chance to see Deadpool 2 again. But I may have had a better time at the theater. And they are two completely different films, but I may have had an even better time at the theater with Deadpool 2 than I did with Infinity War. Let's see. Michael Hafana writes, watched you for over 3 years. Oh, thanks so much, Michael. Finally have a chance to send in a message. Have you heard about Peter Jackson possibly directing a DCEU movie? Yes, I have heard about that. And it's not just Peter Jackson. The DCEU under Hamada, because remember, they have new leadership there now. The DCEU is being run by new people. Warner Bros. Has installed new leadership over the DCEU. So we're not going to see the results of that leadership change for at least another year because certain movies are already in process. But it seems like they're going after big time directors. Like we already know Steven Spielberg's going to be directing one, although it's not a DCEU movie, but it is based on a DC comic book. It's about World War II fighter pilot teams. Anyway, they are going after Peter Jackson. Although he may, according to the reports that I read, Peter Jackson's got to decide between doing that, doing something else, or he might be getting involved with the Amazon Lord of the Rings show. And I got to be honest with you right now. I think, look, let's say if you put 3 options in front of me right now. Do I want Peter Jackson doing a DCEU movie, an MCU movie, or getting involved with this Amazon Lord of the Rings show? I think I'm taking the Amazon show. I think I'd really love to see Peter Jackson really get back into the world of Middle-earth. Because, you know, it wasn't the best of circumstances that he did the Hobbit movies. Because remember, Guillermo del Toro was supposed to be doing the Hobbit movies. And then there were delays. And it was kind of a last-minute decision that he jumped on board and his head wasn't really in it. And I like the Hobbit movies, but they're nowhere near as good as Peter Jackson's original Lord of the Rings films. So I would love it if he got back into Middle-earth where he had all the time in the world, he could really get his head in the game with it and really have an influence on it. I think I would pick that personally. Let's see. Matt Thornton writes, wishful but unlikely hope Obi-Wan and Hondo reunion. Well, I'm glad you hope for that. I do not. I am not a fan of the Hondo character. At first, when they brought Hondo back onto Rebels, I was like, this can work. And then he became kind of irritating. Honestly, I ended up not liking the character. So I'm glad you're hoping for it. And for your sake, it would be great if it happens. For my sake, I really hope it doesn't because I honestly found the Hondo character by the end just unbearable. Last Journey writes, hey, John, have you checked out Cobra Kai yet? It's great. I have checked it out. I watched the first 3 episodes and I originally watched the first 2. And then Anne watched the 3rd episode the other night and I was here. I was just like, okay, I'll sit down and watch it with her. I don't like it. I gotta be honest, I think it's bad. I think it's really bad. not steaming garbage, not the worst thing on TV. But there's something about doing cheesy nostalgia, which can be really fun, and then just plain cheesy. And honestly, while I love the idea of Cobra Kai, I love the idea of it, I'll be honest with you, the show's not working for me. It's kind of lame, but an awful lot of people love it. And that's great. So it just got renewed for season 2, which thrills me because I know there's a lot of people that love it. So I'm really happy that everybody's going to get another season of it. But I got to be honest with you, I did watch the first 3 episodes, and so far to me, it's like, this feels like a high school drama club put these together. It really does. But hey, a lot of other people are loving it. That's great. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people shouldn't like it. So great. I'm really happy that you guys are enjoying it. And I wish I could join the cool kids and say that I liked it too, but all I've got is my honest opinion, and my honest opinion is I haven't liked it that much. Stark Syndrome writes, I've got 13 reasons why I'm excited for May 18th, and Deadpool ain't one. You know, I never did watch the first season of 13 Reasons. I've talked to a few people that actually didn't like it. Like a few people that I know that I'm close to watch it and thought it was meh, but clearly it has its fans because it's getting another season. I've never seen it myself, so I can't comment. But let me tell you right now, Stark Syndrome, you should be excited for Deadpool because Deadpool 2 is incredible. It's just incredible. Caleb Bradford writes, did you hear Lucifer got canceled? That's really disappointing. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, I've been talking a lot about that lately. Just, it stuns me that it got canceled. It's so good. And the numbers aren't bad. So all we can do right now is hope that some smarter, wiser studio and network than Fox, whether it's NBC, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, TBS, whatever. Here's just hoping somebody has the foresight to come along and pick up this show, because this show's great. Let's see. Mike Thompson writes, has there ever been a movie with the word terminal in the title that you liked? As a matter of fact, no. I was just at the world premiere of the new Margot Robbie, Simon Pegg, Mike Myers film Terminal. Great idea for a movie and some wonderful performances, but the movie just didn't work for me. Then you got the Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg film, The Terminal, which is like the one Steven Spielberg film I don't like. Then you've got like that Charlie Sheen movie, Terminal Velocity from the 90s. That is also not very good. So nope, I don't think there has ever been a movie with the word terminal that I've actually liked. That's an interesting kind of trivia question right there. Has there? Yeah, no, never had one that I've liked so far. All right, Mike Thompson writes, over under 70% the movie pass is gone by the end of the year. Yeah, I would not say it's 100%, but I will take the over on 70%. I'm not even sure movie pass is still going to be around by the end of October. It might be. And like I said, I wouldn't say it's 100% that it's gone by the end of the year. But if you're going to give me the over under at 70%, the movie passes closes its doors by the end of the year, I'll take the over on that. And Cinemia will still be around. Folks, sign up for Cinemia. I think you would have a really good experience with them. Let's see. ZCM Zombie writes, you should make a standalone video about the need for pre-assigned seating. I did. I've made a video for pre-assigned seating. It's an old one. I made it like, gosh, 7 years ago? Maybe around 7 years ago I made it. But I absolutely did do a standalone, and this was like years ago. So go check it out, search for it. You should be able to find it, but I did make one. ZCM follows up. Oh, I missed one from ZCM. ZCM wrote, better war battle scene, Infinity War or Ready Player One? The Ready Player One battle scene is great. It's great. But the one in Infinity War is better. I mean, it's all subjective. You may have a different opinion, but to me, there's no question. It's the Infinity War one for sure. Let's see. ZCM also follows up, if you had to swap one Infinity War character and put a DC character in the movie, who would it be and why? I don't know. I'd have to think about it. So I'll just make one off the top of my head. I would put in Superman because Superman's cool. I mean, again, that's a heavy question, ZCM, for me to just answer off the top of my head. So If I sat down and thought about it and I plotted out something, I could come up with a better answer. But off the top of my head, I don't know, Superman, just because he's Superman. Let's see. Ali Hussein writes, "Hey, John, love the show." Thank you so much, Ali. "I'm glad that you have watched Into the Badlands. What do you think of the chemistry between Daniel Wu and Nick Frost in season 2? Yeah, I've mentioned this before. So, because a lot of people on the shows have been telling me, "John, you got to start watching Into the Badlands." So I started watching it about a month or two ago. And I like binged the first 2 seasons in 2 weeks. Love it. But I'll tell you what, when Nick Frost, okay, of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz fame, when Nick Frost popped up, I thought, oh, this is bad casting. I mean, I like Nick Frost. I do. I've gotten together with Nick Frost on a number of occasions. I like Nick Frost very much. But I was watching like, really, Nick Frost? Because I didn't know he was in season 2. So I'm binging it. And he pops up and I'm like, this is a bad casting. This is not a good fit. He's great. His chemistry with Daniel Wu, I think, is fantastic. And who would have thought that you could buy into Nick Frost as a Kung Fu monk master? And yet this show makes you buy it. I am totally sold on it. So now I haven't started watching season 3 yet. I haven't had a chance to start watching season 3 yet. But I am totally bought into Nick Frost. And I love the chemistry between him and Daniel Wu in the show. I really do. I never would have cast him in this in a million years. And I'm so glad he did. Because he's really good in it. ZCM writes, "Have you played Fortnite with Thanos yet?" Nope. I've played since they've done Institute. But I have not played Fortnite with Thanos yet. ZCM writes, "Better movie, Donnie Brasco or Carlito's Way?" Both very good, but I'm going to go with Donnie Brasco on that. Jonathan C. writes, "If this deal goes through with Disney buying Fox, how would you introduce X-Men and Fantastic Four into the universe?" Simple, I wouldn't. What I would do is I would set them up in their own cinematic universe. The MCU, I'm sorry, is overcrowded. The MCU is overcrowded. And I think, as great as Infinity War is, I think Infinity War proves the case that the MCU is overcrowded. And I would absolutely put X-Men and Fantastic Four in their own cinematic universe. There's enough characters in the X-Men universe to sustain its own cinematic universe. And then that way, they would, because look, they really do keep the Netflix Marvel shows and the MCU separate. They keep them very separate. And that means their hands aren't tied. It means they can pursue whatever stories they want, really. And that is the advantage of X-Men and Fantastic Four not being in the MCU. So, honestly, how would I introduce them into the universe? Simple. By not doing it at all. I would have them in their own self-sustained universe. And that's not what they're going to do. There's a 99% chance they are going to merge them into the MCU because Bob Iger's already kind of made comments that kind of reflect that. But honestly, if you're asking what would I do, I wouldn't put them in the universe. It's already overcrowded. It's already overcrowded. Let's see. ZCM writes, "Has Anne watched Aliens yet?" Nope, we still have not had a free evening to do that. And we might get to, we were thinking about last night, but then last night we went to go see U2. U2, the greatest band of all time. We went to go see them play last night. And tonight, you know, we might have a chance to do it tonight. But then tomorrow night, being Thursday, we're going to be going to go see Deadpool again in the evening. So there's that. And then Friday night, we got plans. And then the weekend, right? So it's going to be a while before we finally get a chance to have her watch Aliens. We had a chance last week. We were going to have her watch it last week. But then she got home a little bit late from work. I had a really long day. She was exhausted. We wound up making dinner, popping something on TV, and just didn't have time to watch Aliens. There was just no, if we'd started watching Aliens, she would have fallen asleep halfway through. So, nope, hasn't watched it yet. I will let you guys know when Anne finally watches Aliens for the first time. Rami J. Royster writes, "I'm hating how the TV show Gotham is destroying the Batman mythos. Why does the Joker have a twin brother?" Well, let's be clear about something, Rami. I mean, really. First of all, there is no Joker mythos. There is no definitive Joker mythos. They have said and suggested over the years radical different things about the Joker's origins. There's no true definitive origin for the Joker. There's just been too many different suggestions over the years in the comic books, contradictory ones as well, that just don't work. So, is Gotham really destroying the mythos? Not at all. They're really not. Not to mention, look, everybody knew right from the beginning, this isn't Batman. This isn't canon. This is Gotham. It's not Batman. So really, who cares? It's its own self-contained thing. It's much like Smallville. Smallville was not Superman. Smallville was Smallville. It was its own thing. So it could do its own thing. Krypton is not Superman. It's its own thing. So that one of the advantages of being your own isolated thing is that you can take liberties and try different things within it that aren't consistent with the traditional accepted canon of something else. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Gotham. There are some seasons that's worked for me, some of it hasn't. But I will say this, is that it doesn't destroy anything. It's self-contained. It is not connected to the grander Batman story in any way. And therefore, they should be free to experiment with some things. And by the way, the Joker thing with the twin brother, what's to say that's not the true thing of the Joker, since there's never been a truly canonized, definitive origin of the Joker anyway. So, while I am not a huge fan of Gotham, Rami, I'm going to disagree with you. They're not destroying anything about Batman because it's completely self-contained and isolated. It's Gotham. It's not canon with Batman. It's not the comic book Batman. It's Gotham. It's a separate thing that's kind of like an Elseworld story, much like Smallville was an Elseworld story. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it, Romney. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about it. And besides, next season is going to be Gotham's final season, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Okay, let's see. Trevor Brooks writes, better John Leguizamo movie, Super Mario Brothers or The Pest? Also, been seen Super Troopers 2 this weekend, a lot better than I thought it would be. Super Troopers 2 wasn't that good. I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's awesome that you got some entertainment out of it. I honestly didn't think it was all that good. And I'll go The Pest. I'll go The Pest on that. But you're saying which is the better movie? They're both crap. They're both crap, but I'll take The Pest. ZCM Zombie Custom Maps writes, will you watch the HBO movie Fahrenheit 451? Yeah, I'll watch it when I get time. It's not high on my priority list. Now, you've got a couple of great performers in it. You got Michael Shannon. You got Michael B. Jordan. I mean, that's enough right there. I had to read Fahrenheit 451 when I was in school. So, yeah, I'll probably check it out when I get a few minutes to do so. But I'm not, like, again, though, I'm not going to make it a high priority. I will watch it. I'm just not exactly sure when I'm going to get around to it. Ray writes, does Disney make anything off of Deadpool since it's a Marvel character? Even if they don't, I find it crazy how dominant Disney is this summer with Infinity War, Solo, Incredibles 2, then Ant-Man 2. Yeah, Disney's dominance is record-breaking and unprecedented. It's been a lot of years since one studio dominated like Disney is dominating right now through all their various sub-companies. I don't really think so. As far as how much money do they make off Deadpool, probably minimal, if anything at all. Like, there might be something in the licensing agreement that says, oh, hey, we get, you got the license to Deadpool, but we get 1% or something. There might be something like that, but it'll be minor and maybe even inconsequential. So basically speaking, no, but that might not be completely accurate. They may get something out of it, but nothing substantial. Look, some people try to say Deadpool is a Marvel movie. No, it's not. But it's a Marvel character. It doesn't matter that it's a Marvel character. Marvel has nothing to do with the production and the making of the Deadpool movie. It's not a Marvel movie. Is it based on a Marvel character? Sure. But when you say something is a Marvel movie, you're insinuating that it's Marvel Studios, and it's not. Marvel Studios has nothing to do with the production of Deadpool. It is a Fox movie. Deadpool is a Fox movie. That's based on a Marvel character, sure. But Deadpool, because some people try to make the argument, Deadpool is also a Marvel movie. No, it's not. No, it's not. It is a Fox movie. That's what it is. Marvel Studios has nothing to do with the production of the film, so it is a Fox movie. Now, if you want to have the discussion, well, fine, then out of DC or Marvel, which one is Deadpool? Well, out of the two, then it's a Marvel film. But that's the furthest you can go. As far as movie production goes, Deadpool is not a Marvel movie. It is a Fox movie. Anyway, Derek Woodrin writes, loving the interview with Aaron. Thank you so much. For those of you who still haven't caught it, part 1 of my interview with Erin Cummings is up. Not an actress that you may have even ever heard of, but you've probably seen her before because she's been in like 30 different television series, a couple of which were her own series that she was a star of, but a bunch of others as a guest spot or whatever. She has so many great stories, like Hollywood behind the scenes stories. It's just great. And if you're an actor or an actress or thinking about becoming an actor or an actress, you absolutely have to watch this interview. She's a fascinating interview. Check it out. It's on my YouTube channel right now. Go check it out. I'll put up part 2 here shortly. All right. Ali Hussein writes, by the way, whoever is in charge of geography of Into the Badlands is awesome. Let's be honest here. Nick Frost don't look like a martial arts master, but damn, I'm afraid of him, and he is awesome. Well, yeah, that just goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Ali, right? That I was totally shocked and surprised by how much I have adored Nick Frost in this thing. He's been great. History Soups writes, Iger's Disney/Marvel/Star Wars is just unstoppable. It's crazy. What Bob Iger has done. For those of you who don't know, Bob Iger is the all-hailed Supreme Grand Emperor of Disney, of all things Disney. Not just the movie studios, like the theme parks, everything. Bob Iger is the Grand Supreme Emperor of Disney. And then when it comes to the movie side, right under him is Vice Grand Supreme Admiral, or Emperor, if you will, his Viceroy. His Viceroy would be Alan Horn. Alan Horn and Bob Iger, what they have done on the entertainment side with their movie properties is psychotic. Like what the two of them have accomplished together, Alan Horn, Bob Iger, what they have done is inconceivable. Now, the sexier names, of course, are like Kevin Feige, and the sexier names are the Russo brothers, and Joss Whedon, and Jon Favreau. Yeah, those are the sexier names. But make no mistake about it. It's all under the watch of two guys, Bob Iger and his viceroy, Alan Horn. What they have done may never be repeated again. It might never be repeated again. It is crazy. And if there was just a Hollywood Hall of Fame, Bob Iger and Alan Horn should be in it. It's just that simple. Devontae Brown writes, did you see actors are defending Klain? Surprising. Some of them are. Yeah. Damon Wayans is not. So like a lot of the people, there are stories coming out now about what happened on the set of Lethal Weapon that like a lot of people started like writing on set. Clayton Klain is a emotional terrorist. Like it's just crazy that a lot of the upheaval. Now, I'm sure he had his friends, and I'm sure his friends will stick up for him and speak out on his behalf. I'm sure that's true. But unfortunately, it doesn't change the other stories and what happened. So, hey, look, if my buddy gets himself in trouble, I'll have my buddy's back. Doesn't mean that he didn't do what he did. It doesn't mean he shouldn't face consequences for what he did, but I'll have my buddy's back. And I'm sure this is probably a situation where he had friends and his friends have his back, and that's great. Doesn't change anything, but it's good that they have his back. Steve Munguia writes, thoughts on Lucifer's cancellation? Unfortunate in my opinion, more than unfortunate. It's crazy. It's ludicrous, and it's criminal. Again, look, it didn't have the type of ratings that, 100% guarantee that it could never be canceled, and they canceled it anyway. No, I mean, it had borderline ratings. They were okay, though. The ratings were okay. Like I said, they've renewed other shows with far worse ratings than Lucifer. Lucifer's ratings were not terrible. So I'm beside myself. Beside myself. As a television fan, I'm beside myself that it got canceled. Jack Spittle writes, is it safe to say we're living in the golden age of television? No, it's not safe to say that. You can never really crown ages until a few years later. when you can look back on it and put it in context. It feels like we're in a golden age of television, but some people might say, nah, man, like 4 years ago was the golden age of television. When you still had shows like Walking Dead was more in its prime, and you had Breaking Bad was still on the air. Or even back up a little bit further when you had shows like Dexter and Mad Men or whatever. Like, so you have to get a few years removed from a particular era so you can look back on it and put it in context. When you're living right in the middle of it, it's difficult. So you can make an argument that this is the golden age of television, but I don't think it's safe to say that. I think you need to give it a few years. Like, let's revisit the question like in 2022. Let's look back on television in this era right now, like 4 or 5 years from now, and kind of put in context a bit. John Hine writes, Joanna Man, best cross-dressing basketball movie? I'm unfamiliar with the film myself, so I can't even give an opinion on it. ZCM writes, have you seen a Black Klansman trailer? No, but I heard, but for those of you who don't know, Black Klansman is a new Spike Lee film. And it just played at a film festival where apparently people are losing their minds for it. I haven't even seen a trailer for this movie yet. So I can't comment on it because I haven't seen a trailer for it yet, but I'm hearing that it's getting a fantastic reaction from people. So I'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Shamanth Ramachandra writes, do you think if Bohemian Rhapsody is great and does good numbers, it will make way for more biopics of musicians? Mick Jagger, Ozzy Osbourne, Michael Jackson. It's possible. I mean, but again, that's a huge if. Because again, you can say of any movie coming out, you can say, hey, if that movie makes $1 billion and is great and everybody loves it, could it open the doorway for more movies like it? Well, sure, it wouldn't hurt. The question is there an interesting story to tell? And I'll be honest with you, with a few exceptions, and there are exceptions, generally speaking, I'm not all that interested in lives of musicians. I'm just not. I'm more interested, like, for instance, you want to talk about biopics or true stories? I'm more interested in a movie like Queen of Katwe, which is not a famous person. She wasn't a musician, but there was this girl who changed the way a nation felt about itself, and who showed that there was hope of getting out of horrible circumstances and improving things for people through a game of chess. Like that movie was remarkable. Queen of Katwe. By the way, Lupita Nyong'o was in it, was one of the stars of that movie. That movie, more of you should have seen it. Like, there's just no, it is one of those movies that makes you remember why you love movies. Queen of Katwe is a fabulous movie. Just a fabulous movie. And I'm far more interested in like the life stories of like, we had one a few years ago about Alan Turing. We had one about like Queen of Katwe is a great one. I'm more interested in those types of biopics than musicians, to be honest with you. Again, there are exceptions like Walk the Line. I love Walk the Line. But generally speaking, but yes, if Bohemian Rhapsody comes out and it's raved by the critics and the audiences love it and it makes like 600 million at the box office, then it certainly won't hurt. It certainly wouldn't hurt the cause of other musical biopics coming out. To be frank, I'm not all that interested in them, but it could hurt. But it couldn't hurt. Sandman45981 writes, do you think Feige/Marvel will retcon the events of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. / Inhumans when they introduce Miss Marvel into the MCU? I don't know. Marvel hasn't done a lot of retconning so far. I think Feige kind of feels, even with the good or the bad, the best thing to do is to work around them. And so now I don't know this. I'm not basing this off of any insider information. My feeling is that what Feige will do is have them work around it rather than retcon it and work through it. You know what I mean? So I have a feeling they'd probably just work around it and maybe not reference it, but work around it because it doesn't seem like he's big on the idea of retconning stuff. But it's possible. It is possible. Rakuz writes, John, if The Predator does well, does that give any hope for a new Alien versus Predator shared universe? No. If Predator does well, it puts the nail in the coffin of AVP because it shows, hey, look, Predator can work if you don't make it Alien versus Predator. They tried Alien versus Predator. They did it twice, and they both suck. So, no. If anything, Predator coming out doing well, that really puts the nail in the coffin of Alien versus Predator. Because it'll be, see, Predator works when it's just Predator. When it's just Predator, it works. So, yeah, no. They tried AVP a couple of times, never worked, never had any big success. If Predator comes out and does well, it puts the nail in the coffin of AVP rather than increasing its chances. Because it'll make the studios go, see, Predator by himself works. The Predator franchise on its own, without mashing it up with Aliens, that works. So it'll just really cement the fact that they do it without Alien. So that's what I think would happen. Technovine writes, Giovanni, saw Deadpool 2 today in Manila, and you're right, better than Deadpool 1. My guts fell out laughing out loud. Post-credits is worth it. I'm ready for Thanos versus Cable one day. Yeah, man, and again, don't hold me to that. I'm saying it might be better than the first Deadpool. Everybody knows how much I love the first Deadpool. I love the first Deadpool. And I think I may even like this one more. There are certain things the first Deadpool film did better. Certain things the second Deadpool did better. But I may like the second Deadpool more. But yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, it's just psychotically good. I am so, from the opening moment of this movie, right to the end credits, best end credit scenes of all time, by the way. I was just thoroughly entertained from start to finish. So I can't wait for you guys to get a chance to see it. Sid Vicious writes, John, you said that blockbusters help financing prestige/risky movies. But since Disney is king of franchises, why aren't they making prestige movies? Well, no, what I said, be careful when you're trying to quote me. What I said was, when studios have these big monster hits, that's what finances the smaller films that they try doing. So they'll say, you shouldn't be making these big films, you should be making small films. Well, what do you think pays for the small films? It's the big blockbusters pay for these other ones. And Disney has done many, like just in the last few years alone. You had that Chris Pine film, Finest Hours, with Chris Pine. That was a really nice little film. You had like $1 Million Arm. You had McFarland USA, the one with Kevin Costner. I was just talking about Queen of Katwe, which is a movie just came out recently that hardly anybody went to go see, but they did it, and it is a brilliant movie. Like within all these big blockbusters that Disney do, they do then put out these smaller, really artistically satisfying, smaller movies that are usually great. Like $1 Million Arm was great. McFarland USA was great. Queen of Katwe was great. Finest Hours, I won't say Finest Hours was great, but it was quite good. They in the midst of all this, they put out these films. They just don't get the attention because the audience seems to be more interested in their bigger stuff. Their Pixar, their Star Wars, their Marvel, their Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever. Those are the ones that get all the attention, but they do put out these smaller films. And when they do, they're usually really top shelf. They're usually quite good. They just don't get the attention. And like I said, Queen of Katwe, my God. You know what? I might have to make Queen of Katwe one of our movie club movies because, God, people need to watch that movie. It's a special movie. So just good for the soul. Just one of those movies is just damn good for the soul. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, make no mistake, they do put out and make these movies. El Cid 0685 writes, Gambit lives. Yeah, well, maybe Gambit lives. Like we talked yesterday on the John Campea show about how Simon Kinberg, who is directing the upcoming X-Men movie, and he's a producer of Deadpool 2, and he's a producer on Gambit. Simon Kinberg just said at the Deadpool 2 world premiere that they have a script finalized that both they and Channing Tatum love, and they're interviewing directors right now, and they may have a new director on, because they've gone through 3 directors already. So they say they may have a new director picked within the next couple of weeks, and that they might actually start shooting a new Gambit movie or a first Gambit movie by the end of the summer, like within a few months. Remember, this may still not happen at all, but it could start shooting at the end of the summer. So yeah, this thing could happen. Mr. Pete Channel writes, can I still use AMC stubs with Cinemia? Yes, you can. Although if you ask AMC, they'll say no, but AMC doesn't even know because here's what happens. The way it works is Cinemia is a MasterCard. It says Cinemia on it, but really it's a MasterCard. So you go online, book your tickets. Say use Fandango to book your tickets. Book your tickets at an AMC thing. Just put in your Cinemia card, which is really a MasterCard. Fandango has no idea it's a Cinemia card. AMC has no idea it's a Cinemia card. And Fandango also lets you put in your AMC Stubs number, and boom, it works. That's how I do it. Works perfectly great. It's a wonderful experience. So I get to use my Cinemia, and I get AMC Stub points. Works great. Again, if you go up to AMC, to the cashier and go, can I use my stubs with my Cinemia card? They may tell you no, but if you use the online services, they have no idea of knowing. My best suggestion is use Fandango to buy your tickets, or use Atom Tickets. Atom Tickets is a good one. Fandango's a good one. Neither one of you assholes are my show sponsors. One of you become my show sponsors, and I'll just mention Atom Tickets, or I'll just mention Fandango. But yeah, just use either one of those services. And you can put in your MasterCard number, which is your Cinemia card, and then they let you put in your loyalty program, in this case, AMC Stubs, and it should work for you no problem. It works for me. Let's see, Razor's Edge Frisbee writes, that's a great username. This isn't a spoiler since it's in the trailer, but that scene where Thanos shows up in Wakanda gives me Darth Vader Rogue One fight scene level chills. Man, a truly intimidating villain, one of the greatest I think you mean sci-fi villains. Look, no doubt, he's a great villain. I wouldn't put him on Darth Vader level villain, but he is a great villain. One of the greatest, maybe the greatest comic book villain of all time. Comic book movie villain of all time. It's possible. Definitely the best MCU villain they've ever had. Possibly the greatest comic book villain too, and that includes Heath Ledger's Joker. There's an argument to be made for that. But yeah, it's stunning. I don't know if I would put him on Vader's level, but absolutely, no doubt, just a chilling, fantastic villain. And the main reason Infinity War works, like, he is the best part of Infinity War. Colin Tucker writes, prior to the first two Avengers films, Avengers Infinity War used its theme music in the marketing. Beginning to be recognized like Star Wars, Harry Potter, etc. Well, here's the thing. Right now, to me, while I like the main Avengers theme music, while I really like the Avengers theme music, it's only becoming recognizable because Avengers keeps using it. Things like the Harry Potter music. I mean, the first time you hear that, that sticks with you forever. Like, bum bum ba bum 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 ba 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 bum ba bum ba. Like, when you hear that, it just sticks with you instantly forever. Star Wars, ba 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 ba. All it took was one movie, and that score became forever entrenched in everything. The Avengers theme music, not so much. Now, the Avengers music means something because they've done like 3 Avengers films and have used it from time to time in other places as well, and use it so often that now it's becoming extremely recognizable. But unlike Harry Potter and Star Wars and stuff like that, it never came out of the gate as being recognizable. And so that's why I'll still put things like Jaws, E.T.'s music, Jurassic Park's music, Star Wars' music, Superman, Indiana Jones. That's why those scores will always kind of be higher on the totem pole, because those things came out once and they instantly became just like etched into our minds and associated with those movies. Whereas with the Avengers music, it's good, but we've had to see it over and over and over again before it finally starts getting to the point that it's becoming etched, right? So that's why I still put all that other music above it. But that's just my personal opinion. Michael D writes, John, how do I get my peepers on Anniversary 2009? For those of you who don't know, the Anniversary is a little indie film that I made, that I wrote, directed, and produced. That did not star in because I suck as an actor. I'm still figuring that out. I mean, I had it publicly available for a while. I used an online service. I did a run of a couple of thousand of DVDs. I didn't have enough money to do a big, huge run, but I sold out of all of them. And then there used to be this online service where I could put it up that wasn't Amazon, where I was able to put my movie up online, and I made it a rental, and it did really well, but then that company went out of business, and ever since, I've just kind of sat on it. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. As somebody who had never, one of my big reasons for making the anniversary was not because I am a filmmaker. No, is because I'm working in this business. One of the big reasons for me doing it was to get a better appreciation for the business and to get a better appreciation for the people who write these movies and a better appreciation for the people who produce these movies and direct these movies, just so I could better appreciate and have a better understanding of this business that I make my living off of commentating on. Another thing is, it was a bucket list thing. So many people say, someday I'm going to write a movie, or someday I'm going to make a movie. Well, I said, well, I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to do it. And I figured out a way to get it done, and I did it. Now, as somebody who made their own movie, I am super proud of the anniversary. I am massively proud of the anniversary. I even won a couple of film festivals. I got some awards back here that were for the anniversary. But let's be honest. By Hollywood standards, by what you as an audience member, the standards of you watch professionally made Hollywood television, you watch professionally made Hollywood movies, by those standards, my movie sucks. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just call it what it is. For myself, I'm super proud of it. For people who know me, like my buddy made a movie. It's great. For somebody who has no idea how to make movies and had no idea how to write a movie, had no idea how to produce a movie, had no idea how to direct a movie, and just did it, I'm super proud of it. And I like it. I like my movie. But let's be honest here. I mean, by Hollywood standards, it's not so good. But for somebody who had no idea what they're doing, I'm super proud of the movie. So, I don't know. Maybe someday I'll release it again, make it available. I know that the trailer's available online. You can find the trailer on YouTube. But I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to make it or if I'll ever make it available again. Maybe I'll make that one of my Patreon supporters perks, that you get access to the anniversary. Who knows? Maybe I'll do that. All right. Final question, and we'll wrap up today's companion video. The final question comes to us from Alex Crivoloni, who writes, should Kevin Feige bring back Taika Waititi for different projects like Fantastic Four or a future rendition of Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, let's just, right now, Fantastic Four is not in the MCU right now, so let's not even address that. It may never be. So let's put that aside. I would. And I think Guardians of the Galaxy would be a great fit. But John, what about James Gunn? Let James Gunn direct some other stuff. Like, I never like one director staying on one property for too long anyway. So... but then you go, okay, if you're going into and James Gunn is doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So if you ever start thinking Guardians of the Galaxy 4 and James Gunn's not directing it, well, who would direct it? Taika Waititi would be a great fit. Taika Waititi would be a great fit for Ant-Man. Taika Waititi would be a really nice fit for almost any project you put on. I would love to see Taika Waititi direct more stuff in the MCU. So if I was Kevin Feige, would I give Taika Waititi another shot, either at another Thor or at another property? I absolutely would. I absolutely would. All right, guys, that will do it for today's installment of our companion video, getting you all caught up on all the questions that we didn't have time for over some of the previous live show. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Listen, if you haven't done so already, why don't you take a second, click on that subscribe button, become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. If you're not doing so already, make sure you're following me on Twitter, simply @JohnCampia. That would be marvelous. All right, guys, that'll do it for me. Don't forget, 8:30 in the morning is the John Campia Show. 2 p.m. in the afternoon, sometimes a little bit later than that, but usually 2 p.m. in the afternoon is open mic. My Deadpool 2 review is already up. Go find that. My solo review is up. Go find that. That interview with Aaron Cummings that everybody who's watching it is raving about it. Go watch it. It's on top of my YouTube channel right now. Go check that stuff out. That'll do it for me for now, guys. My name's John Campia. Thanks for joining me, and until my next video, bye-bye.